Hey, what's up everybody? Casey here at Zero and Fly and Tackle, once again coming at you with a new fly. Today we're going to do a deep water chironomid. I'm going to show you how to tie the depth charge. Alright, so in the vise for the depth charge deep water chironomid, we have taken an AquaTalon chironomid hook, the ATH 5700. So that's going to be the bronze version of the AquaTalon chironomid hook, and I'm going to do it in a size 14 for you today. And to that I have added an OfishL silver tungsten bead in a 3/32. When I do the beads on the chironomids, I'll always put the bigger hole towards the eye, just to accommodate the gills. We're going to use a number of different tying threads for this particular pattern, and I'm going to start out with some Semperfli Nano Silk in a 30 denier in the color copper, and we're going to use this later in the fly as well too for a collar and to finish this pattern. But with it being so thin, I'm going to use this to tie in the gills that go underneath the bead, just to reduce the chance of that bead from not being able to fit, just to reduce the bulk essentially. Oh, that's not good for the scissors. And for gills, I'm going to use some Uni-Stretch in white. And I'll always do a few wraps in front as well too, to help prop everything up and keep them clear of the eye. And we'll just whip finish that off. Trim that. Oops, I misjudged that. And we'll slide the bead over top of those gills. We'll trim those later to length. Next, we're going to tie in some fluorescent orange ultra thread in 70 denier. And I'm just going to tie that in over top of those wraps that secured those gills. And that just helps lock everything down, prevents it all from unraveling and all that kind of goodness. We'll trim that tag. And we're just going to tie this down the shank with nice uniform side-by-side wraps. We don't want to double it up over itself or anything like that, if at all possible. And it's very possible. It's going to take a little bit of practice if it's not something that you do too much of. But one of the benefits of this ultra thread for this sort of application is it lays down super flat and nice and smooth to give you really nice chironomid bodies. So in order to keep everything looking nice and uniform and clean, we're just looking for side-by-side wraps here. We're going to bring this down part way into the bend. Essentially, this is just going to be a butt on this fly, kind of like a hot spot. And then we're going to bring it back up once we like it, doing the exact same thing. Just nice, uniform side-by-side wraps. If you start getting bumps in at the foundation of the fly, you're going to have bumps all the way through. You're not going to be able to smooth that out. And we'll whip finish that off. Just behind the bead. Next, we're going to go with some purple 70 denier UTC ultra thread. And pretty much repeat the process. But we're not going to bring it down quite as far. We want to leave a little bit of that orange showing. And once we get to just about where we want to start heading back up with the purple, we're going to start tying in some other elements to this pattern. The first thing that I'm going to tie in is going to be the last thing that I wrap forward on this particular fly. So we're going to go with some UTC Ultra Wire in black in extra small. Now this one's a real challenge for me because I've got a fly that's almost an entire arm's length away from me. I've got this super fine wire and a black background, so bear with me for a second here as I try and grasp this with the thread. I've got way more sticking out than I would normally try and grab if I had this thing like right in front of me like I would normally tie a Chironomid. Oh, and I still pulled it through. There, I captured it. I'm going to pull that back, but I did definitely bump the vise, so I want to make sure that everything's still in focus for you. Alright, now I'm just going to use my finger there so I can actually see that wire. Perfect. I like where that's at. So the next material that I'm going to tie in, I'm going to butcher the name of it, but it's Sybai. I don't even know. I'll leave that for the professionals. They're wide, ultra-fine wire in silver. It's kind of got like a flat side to it, and it gives it a cool effect. It's really, really nice stuff to tie with. It's nice and soft too, so it's easy to break off at the end of the Chironomid, and I really appreciate that. And the third thing that we're going to tie in is just going to be a piece of Flashabou, the ice blue pearl for Hedron's Flashabou. Again, just try and capture that in like the last wrap or two. We're going to bring that thread forward, just like we did with the orange, nice uniform side-by-side wraps. We don't want that orange poking through. And we'll build a little bit of a taper as we get towards the bead a little bit. Don't want to make it excessively thick, but having a little bit's nice. Alright, so now we're going to wrap these materials forward in the reverse order that we tied them in. So this Flashabou was the last thing that I tied in. It's going to be the first thing that I'm going to wrap up the body. And just like we did with the thread, we're going to go for nice, uniform, even wraps. I apologize if my hand keeps getting in the way there. Just keep bringing that up the body. And this gives it a really cool effect, especially once we hit it with some UV cure at the end. It's going to really make that purple pop and make this stand out at depth. Trim that off, and now I'm just going to give it a quick whip finish with that purple. Trim that off, and we're going to go back to that Semperfli 30 denier copper thread. Next, I'm going to wrap that silver wire forward. Again, tying it off just behind our bead. Like I said, this stuff's nice and soft, so you can just pull it straight up. And now I'm going to do a half hitch here, or you can whip finish if you like, just to make sure that that thread doesn't get knocked and come undone. And we're going to grab that black rib and wrap it right next to that silver wire. In theory, anyway. I can't see what I'm doing from this far away, to be totally honest with you guys, especially with this really fine wire and this black background. So if it's not butted right up against there, we're just going to pretend. Helicopter off that black wire. And we're going to do a few extra wraps with this copper Semperfly. And that's going to create like a thorax and imitate wing buds as well too. Quick whip finish. Carefully trim that. I say that because I left a tag end on the last version of this fly, and when I was trying to clean it up, I completely chopped the entire gills off and had to start from scratch. So there you go. Trim those to length. We're going to hit it with some of that clear UV resin. This is super thin by Raid Zap. Make sure we don't have any pooling on the bottom. Hit it with the light real quick, rotate it around, make sure everything's set up real nice. And once that's complete, either grab it with a pair of hemostats or something off the base of the hook, or pop it right onto a cork onto the vise. You don't want to touch the glue or that UV resin right away after you take the light off of it, because that can make it cloud up. But there you have a very effective deep water chironomid, the depth charge. So tie that in a variety of different sizes to match the hatch, obviously. And good luck out there with that fly, everybody. I hope you like this one. Give it a try if it's not one that you haven't tried before. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. All the materials will be linked in the description below. You can pick them up online, www.c-run.com. If you've got any questions, hit us up at our DMs on any of our social media. Call us, come by the shop. Always happy to talk about flies and get you all squared away with all the stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you for the next one.